Good morning, everybody. Welcome again to a period of reflection on the Gospel of the day. A reading of the Holy Gospel from St. Luke. The scribes and the Pharisees said to Jesus, "The disciples of John the Baptist fast often and offer prayers, and the disciples of the Pharisees do the same. But yours eat and drink." Jesus answered them, "Can you make the wedding guests fast while the bridegroom is still with them? But the days will come when the bridegroom is taken away from them, and then they will fast in those days." And he also told them a parable. "No one tears a piece from the new cloak to patch an old one. Otherwise he will tear the new, and the piece from it will not match the old cloak. Likewise, no one pours new wine into old wineskins. Otherwise, the new wine will burst the skins, and it will be spilled, and the skins will be ruined. Rather, new wine must be poured into fresh wineskins. And no one who has been drinking old wine desires new, for he says the old is good." The Gospel of the Lord. In reflecting on today's Gospel, a saying came back to me from the 1960s, 70s, when banners were the rage, and sayings that were clever, some so clever that I couldn't understand them, but they were the rage as well. And one of them was, "Life is a mystery to be lived, not a problem to be solved." It took a long time for me to really, I think, understand what it means. And this gospel, at least the beginning of it, seems to address that. The Pharisees, in talking to Jesus, start comparing, as they say, the Pharisees and the followers of John the Baptist. They're praying, they're offering fast, they're doing sacrifice. Meanwhile, your followers are eating and drinking. Therefore, one of us is wrong. And of course, the implication would be that the followers of Jesus were wrong. But more importantly, they had this way of evaluating externals, keeping rules or regulations, having definitions. That's how my faith is evaluated. Do I know what I'm talking about? Am I following the rules? Am I doing what is right according to everyone else? And everyone is in quotes. And those things are not bad. But that's not the mystery of living that Jesus invites us to. As a matter of fact, as I look around, even in my own life, I find it grumbling that everything is so hard. I remember in the old days, Lent was such a difficult time. I'm talking about when I was a kid in grade school. Like you couldn't eat meat, and you couldn't do this, and you couldn't do that. It just was a dark time. You put up with it until Easter, and then great. Then you can eat and drink and have fun. But you couldn't do both, not together. If you're going to be serious and solemn, be serious and solemn. And yet Jesus calls us to the good news, and so we're missing something. And I would suggest that it's captured in that banner which says that life is a mystery which needs to be lived. Jesus promises us his love, his compassion, his forgiveness. He tells us that he loves us as we are, human, limited, even sinful. He embraces us on the cross, the sign of his love. He bears the wounds on his body, even in resurrection, to show us that he loves even our sinfulness. And that's something to be joyful about. It's not that I'm proud of my sins, but I'm so joyful and grateful that I have a God who understands and forgives and embraces. And then Jesus challenges me with the mystery. I'm not answering your problems. I'm not going to provide miracles to lift you over the difficult times. But I'm asking you, in the midst of joy, be joyful and celebrate. In the midst of pain and rejection and sometimes failure, remember that you're not alone. Be joyful. I promise you that I will bring you through those moments into newness of life. That's not easy. That's walking the journey. That's living the mystery. And it's not solving anything in a sense. But as I get more experience and I live my life longer, I look back and I realize God is there. This past week, I had to do something. It's not important, but I had to get something actually to a lawyer's office. I dropped something off on Monday, and I was wondering if he got it. And yesterday, I had to drop something else off, and I'm saying to myself, I hope he's there so I can ask him about Monday. And lo and behold, he was walking out of his office. And I rolled the window down in the car, and he couldn't recognize me because I had a mask on. But nevertheless, once we connected, he said, I got those things on Monday, took care of everything. And as I was driving away, I thought, there I was, worrying and fretting. Did I do it right? Did I follow all the instructions? Did I fulfill my responsibilities? And God was taking care of it in a sense. I don't mean to trivialize. I don't mean to make God some magic worker. But rather, God is guiding us. When am I going to learn to trust him? Well, today, maybe. And tomorrow, hopefully. Yesterday, not so good. But that's not the point. I'm reminded I'm never alone, that God brings me to completion and fulfillment each day. He doesn't lift me over the difficulties. He doesn't magically transform me into a trusting, perfect human being. I am who I am. But what makes me joyful and what makes me able to proclaim the good news is that God, through Jesus, promises that he's in me and with me and works through me, and that he loves me as I am. And he challenges me to do the same and live life, the mystery of it, with trust in his presence and his love. I hope that you continue to be well and safe, that you and your family members pray for one another and all of us, and that we are able to embrace these difficult moments as the mystery that God presents to us, to be lived with joy because we know that we're not alone. Have a safe and good day.